dedication to your own personal business by coming here and making the effort to learn new stuff. We have some great trainers in here today, and I'm so excited to get started. But my name's Erika Johnson. I live here in Kansas City. I actually work right up the street at Black & Beach at the engineering firm. For the last 8 years, that's what I've done. My husband and I, we work side by side. We work together, live together, ride together to work, drop our kids off together. Everything that we do is together. So he hears a lot of complaining as a woman. But for a while now, I've been telling him, I'm like, I really just want to find what it is that I want to do with the rest of my life. I want to find something that I'm passionate about and something that can help change other people's lives. And I looked into a lot of different avenues, and I just never could find what it is that I was looking for. So fast forward from when we got married to just last year, I was home on maternity leave with baby number 2. We had a 1-year-old at the time and just had a brand new newborn. I was following my friends on Facebook, and I saw that they had just posted that they had just earned their Lexus. And I thought, Natalie's a really busy mom with 2 little kids, and I know Nick's out of town a lot, and I'm like, if she can earn a Lexus, maybe I can. So we talked, and I got signed up, and I told my husband, I just signed up for Nerium, and he said, oh, a pyramid scheme. And I was like, no. So we quickly learned it's not a pyramid scheme, it's a great way to earn extra income for your family. And, with that, my goal was to earn my Lexus. And I earned it in about 100 days, and I've just really, it was the best, most rewarding feeling. Thank you, guys. It was the best, most rewarding feeling to pull up to daycare and be able to write a check and be able to pay for a daycare, which is $16.80 a month, which is a second income. My dream home is at my daycare. But it was great to pay for daycare, pull up to daycare in a brand new car, and not having coming out of our everyday funds. So, I told my husband, I said, I don't think we're dreaming big enough. My dream was really to always be a stay-at-home mom and be able to be home with my kids and be that mom, the soccer mom. That's what I wanted to do. So that's my goal now, is I want to be a soccer mom. I want to be able to take my kids to all their activities and have a really great income with that and be able to travel the world with my friends doing what I love. Which leads me to our trainers. Nick and Natalie have been such a great inspiration to me. They've been some of the top brand partner sponsors in the company. They've been in the Success from Home numerous times with numerous customer. They've been in there for top customer recruits, top brand partner recruits, sponsorship, and they're just awesome. There's no other word to describe them, but I'm just so blessed to have them as part of my team, and they have 2 beautiful little kids. Little girls that my husband's watching 4 kids right now, so let's all just say a little prayer for his sanity. So with that, I'm going to kind of just let him take over. So thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good. Everybody hear me all right? Okay, cool. So yeah, excited to be here today. Thank you very much, Erika. I actually have a real good history here in Kansas City. I went to Kansas State University. There we go. We got one. We got one in the group. There we go. We got a couple. In the fall, there'll be more, because I understand how a lot of Kansas fans are. Seasonal, which is good. I love that about Kansas. Everybody cheers for everybody. Depends on what time of year it is, mostly. It's changed a little bit the last decade, but definitely excited to be here. We've had an absolute whirlwind the last, year and a half for us, a little under a year and a half, and learned a ton. We don't come from this industry, and I think because of that, we've been able to just kind of dive in and just absorb a ton of information. So we're so excited to be here. We've been doing a bunch of these regionals recently. We host one in Oklahoma City. We host one in Lubbock, West Texas. The people here that are hosting the regional and doing all the work with Mindy and the whole team, it is an absolute ton of work. So let's definitely give them a big round of applause. It's a ton of work. It shows you how unintelligent me and my wife are, because we volunteer to host 2 of them currently. We are not the brightest people in the world. We run, and then we usually present at either 1 or maybe even 2 extra per month. So we've been definitely running around wild. And the biggest thing for us is we love people. We love to share things with people. We love to learn. We also like to share what we've learned. whether our team, whether whoever's team, we're having an absolute blast with this company. So our quick little story, my background's in baseball. After Kansas State, I played a number of years of pro ball. Finished up actually here with the T-Bones, so spent a little bit of time back with the T-Bones, a short stint here. Most recently, I was in the barbecue grill smoker industry. So when I got a call from my friend and said, "Hey, check this out," I laughed, of course. And but we actually did take a look at it. The reason I was actually open to this industry, I have an uncle who's made millions and millions of dollars in this industry. But because I had an uncle who's made millions of dollars in this industry, I also never actually actively did one, because I saw some of the companies he worked with and saw some of the practices we did. But because of that, I actually was able to kind of really see it and know what to look for. And obviously we all here, we're all distributors, and we know all those great magical things that our company does. So we took a look, but it was funny when I was first looking at it, I'm like, "Here, Natalie, you should take a look at this," as she smacks me. She was doing hair basically full-time out of the house, and we had a 6-month-old and 2.5-year-old, and she's like, "What, you don't think I'm busy?" And so we all know how that conversation went. I lost. But when the product came in, I handed it to her, said, "Here, try this out," as she smacked me. And she's like, "No, if I have to try it, you have to try it too." We saw incredible results, and that's what really made us take a really good hard look at this company. And so we got started, and I say we because it said Nick and Natalie, but it was really mostly Natalie just took this and started running with it. I was working 80, 90 hours a time. I was participating. I was bringing people in the business, but I was basically just on my heels. I was minimal, 8 points a day. Was a really good day for me. I was calling one person on the way to work, calling one person on the way home from work, but Natalie was definitely carrying a lot of the weight. And really, although I believe in the industry, I'd never actually actively done one, she made me really, really believe in the industry from her work. So some awesome information will be coming up here in a little bit from her. She's actually just taking this and run with it. And so excited to be up here with her, excited to be able to be with her today. And so because of her, large majority, I was able to retire from my 6-figure income last September to go full time. And so I get to hang out with my best friend and work full time with her, and then also be a full-time dad. So we're excited, and our life's crazy with 2 young kids traveling around and doing as much as we do, but we have an absolute blast doing it. So hopefully we're going to bring some awesome information today. Before we get into some of the slides, I kind of want to really go into the philosophy, basically how to do the house. And, you know, Jeff Olson talks about it a lot, Mark talks about it a lot, Jeff Olson talks a lot about the CDs. But I think those are really kind of some of the intangibles. All the cities we've gone to, we've done Anaheim, the big regional there, you know, we've done Dallas. It's amazing. We'll go through and do this big, huge regional presentation, and I'll get 5, 10 people to come afterwards. Okay, so what's like the trick? And what's your key takeaway? And I'm like, did you take notes for like 4 hours? And that's okay if you come up and do that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. What I'm saying, like, really, like those intangibles, you know, like in sports, you know, if you have someone who has all the talent in the world, they don't go anywhere. I call those like those intangibles. Like, really what that is just your philosophy, your mindset. And I think that's really what will distinguish you between taking this, running with it, and writing down your why and accomplishing your dreams and your goals, or not. And the hows are absolutely, extremely important, but I think how you do the hows is absolutely huge. So for us, for Natalie mostly, she just absolutely took and ran with this. And with her is that she was going to until, okay? There was no failure, okay? It was just a stepping stone, a stepping stone, and a stepping stone to be successful. She got better and better and better. The first time that she made a phone call and I made a phone call, it was absolutely horrendous. The first time I sent a Facebook message, which I don't really even do those anymore. The first time I sent a Facebook message, I call them 7 thumbers, okay? Writing a novel, because it takes 7 thumbs to get through it on the phone, okay? So the key with this is it's not about being perfect, it's about growing, okay? But the reason that we pursued through those no's and all the different things that we did, that, you know, we're not as successful, not as efficient, is because we had the right mindset. That Natalie saw this as a way to get her husband back, and for her kids to get their dad back. I was working a lot. right when we started this business, 2 weeks later we opened a store in Oklahoma City. So when I say 80, 90 hours a week, that was like minimum. It was usually 90 plus for the next probably 3 months. And she literally started this to make a little extra money. Just some spending money for her, and then she wanted to take us on one Mexico trip a year. That's why we started this business. And when we earned our Lexus, when I say we, I mean when she earned our Lexus, I think I had 1 or 2 people that I sponsored in that time, but when she earned our Lexus, I don't know where I was going. Anybody can do this. I'm going to say that a few times. What's that? Yeah, so when we saw we were Lexus, like, you know what, we can do this. And we had so much fun doing it, like, it's simple. Now we go help a number of people do the same thing, and she's like, I can actually have my husband back. And so she just put her head down and started running. Her next goal was to hire a full-time nanny. We love being parents, but she's like, hey, I brought people in this business. I'm going to take my own responsibility to help them because they came and they've trusted me in this business. And she's like, so I want my kids to still have a ton of attention, but I still want to give my team a ton of attention. So she knocked that off of her list a couple months later. We made enough money where we could hire a full-time nanny. And then a few months later was actually the time that we surpassed my income and were able to come home. And it was just because of her philosophy. She made me believe. She changed my philosophy. Athletically, I was always the first guy to the ballpark. I was always the last guy to leave. Always. That was just how I did things. With this, I didn't really begin at that point until she kind of really made me believe that. But our home life was great. You know, I made good money. You know, we have a phenomenal family. But what our days looked like was wake up in the morning. I'd see my kids for a little bit. They'd come and crash the bed, and then I'd get ready for work, go to work. By the time I got home, they were in bed. And so, although life looked fine, it wasn't what we wanted. You know, the reason we almost didn't start the business was because we were so busy. But that ended up becoming the reason why we drove our why and drove our business. So, but that philosophy is a couple things. I think she didn't hear no ever. If you would go ask her a question, how many people have told you no? She'd say, I don't know, but I've had this many people told me yes. Okay. And this is before we've even been to a training, been on phone calls. That's just exactly kind of what she saw and how she rounded it. Same thing for me on baseball. You know, to be a multi-millionaire in baseball, you strike out 7 out of 10 times, you're there. Okay? So in this business, if you fail 7 out of 10 times, are you going to be successful? It depends how many people you talk to. Okay? So this is definitely a numbers game. 2 a day. You can't stop after 5 days. Okay? So, but that is the philosophy you have to have. And it's just the constant activity. She didn't focus on those no's. She focused on the yes, and she focused on the future yeses. And that's what drove her. She focused on what it was going to take for us to become like a full-blown family and give us what we wanted again. She didn't focus on this and the negative. She focused on the positivity. She focused on the people that she wanted to go help and give them what she knew that she was going to be able to give us. And so that mindset, the I will until, is what really drove her. Basically, like I'm saying, the negativity, she just didn't hear it. She just saw, I can go help you if you want to let me in. And if they say no, that's their loss. Okay? So it was never, oh my gosh, like, this person really hurt my feelings today. It was like, oh my gosh, this person really needs to open their mind or get a little smarter. And she really, I mean, and so it is that philosophy that drove her to the top of the company and us to the top of the company. But just focusing on that. Focus on the activity. We're going to talk about 8 points a day a lot. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's our rhythm of doing that constant activity. And we're going to talk a lot of things that kind of incorporate into that. Some different ways that have led us to some success within those 8 points a day. But those 8 points a day are everything. It's just the constant activity. Mickey Mantle, and sorry, I use some corny baseball analogies just because that's what I was for so many years. But Mickey Mantle, we all know him, Hall of Fame player, played for over 17 seasons. He had, like, I don't know exactly the numbers, but 1,600, 1,700 strikeouts, 1,600, 1,700 walks. Okay? So if he averaged 500 at-bats a season, basically for almost 7 years of his 17 years, he didn't touch the baseball. Okay? He's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest that ever played the game. So if he focused on that, focused on when just things weren't happening, like activity wasn't happening, results weren't happening, just stuff wasn't happening. You might send a message, you don't even get a response. If he were to focus on that, okay, he wouldn't be Mickey Mouse. Okay, there wouldn't be a street in Oklahoma City named Mantle in different restaurants. He wouldn't have his statue in Oklahoma and New York and all over. And so what we focus on is the activity. So for me, mentality-wise, I don't focus on the results. That's not a good day. A good day for me is not when I sign up a customer, not when I sign up a brand partner. A good day for me is when I get 8 points, because that's what I can control. Mickey Mantle, when he showed up at the ballpark and had 4 good at-bats, guess what? That's a good day. He can't control whether he walks, whether he strikes out, whether he gets a double or a home run. You can't always control that. What you can control is you taking your steps every single day. You can control your activity, okay? You can control your mindset. If you control those few things, you will be successful in this company. With how well our product works, with the management that we have, and everything they're getting set up for us, okay? But then also the timing we have at our company, you will blow this up. Whether it takes you a year, whether it takes you 10 years, who cares, okay? Think about that for a second. You can do something, put 5 hours in a week. 5 hours, okay? That's cutting out one TV show, okay? Right, Natalie? She walked out. That's good, so I can say something back. She cut out her, not desperate, the Real Housewives, okay? It's literally what she cut out when we started this business, okay? So say you cut out Real Housewives for the next 10 years, not only will your mind be much cleaner, okay, which is extremely important, but if it took you that 10 years, no Real Housewives for 10 years, okay? It's a positive thing, but if it took you 10 years to get a residual income, is that worth it? But cutting out one TV show every night. Okay, that's what we do here with this company. That's the mentality. It's 100% worth it to get a 6-figure residual. It takes you 10 years to hit national marketing director. That is 100% worth it. Okay? It's we get lost in the shuffle. We get lost in the no's. We get lost in everything else. And so we don't get there. We might hit 20 no's. Guess what? People quit. Okay? They're not looking big picture, not looking time. They're not looking like what's realistic. So the mindset to me is just absolutely everything. If you can bring me something that has the right philosophy and is blind, and no offense, but blind, deaf, can't talk, can't do anything, I can make that person be successful if they have the right philosophy. I saw a video just 2 nights ago on an individual who was born without legs and without arms. And I'm sure some people have seen the video. He's been a motivational speaker. He climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. No legs, no arms. He climbed it. On his limbs, he actually climbed it, walking like basically like a dog. And it's because he had the right philosophy. He was going to do it. He was going to be successful. And the cool thing about that story is going up and down the hills and up and down the hills and up and down the hills was so hard on him going down, he couldn't do it. Like he wasn't going to make it. They were 3/4 of the way through his trek, and he's like, I can't do it. They made a decision to go directly straight up. So they actually took a tougher route. But for his limitations, going downhill is what killed him. So they took a tougher route, basically direct up. He made it to the top. And he had the right philosophy, had the right mindset. So, okay, getting some deep stuff there. But for me and Natalie here, our goal is for anybody in here just to get one nugget. Okay, it goes back to the David Bird system. Okay. Set a goal that's very attainable. I think we can definitely give you one thing today to be successful. But who in the room is new brand partners? This is your first reading. Awesome. Welcome. So we got some great information today. Like I said, Natalie's been one of the top recruiters, not only business partners but also customers. Top weekly check earners. So some awesome information, some really good tidbits. But those of you who are existing brand partners, been around for a while, we got some good stuff too. We travel a lot. We literally are in a regional 3 or 4 months, and we're taking notes feverishly, just trying to get one small little thing. So our goal is just to slowly just move the arrow. Okay, we do the small, simple things that over time will do amazing things not only for you but for your organization. Same thing. Slide Edge, Jeff Olson, 10 pages a day. Okay? You read 10 pages a night, it's not going to be a big thing, but 10 pages every single day is going to be a big thing. So a lot of things we talk about are just small little things, but if you like one of them, definitely implement them. These are things that really help for our organization, really help for some people on our team, but also really help for us personally. So getting into the information. Success Planner, huge. It's basically your Nerium Bible. Everything in there that you need to be successful is here. If we had no support team, no back office, no everything, and you just dove into this, everything is in there that you need to be successful.